shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Michael Knight, a young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
Welcome to Beyond the Night, brought to you by the GCRN and Audible.com. I am one of your hosts, Steve John Mike, and joining me is Dion the Music Man. Hello.
No computers today. You can't pick on me about computers, people. I can pick on him about flying.
I've been flying since I was 10 years old. I don't have a problem with it.
Just don't take a Furby through the airport scanners.
Why would I?
I'm actually
toy in the first place.
I'm actually serious about this. Don't ever, if anyone decides to do this, don't ever do that, because I guess there's some, I don't know how true this is, but if you take a Furby through the security deal in an airport, the Furby's circuitry will get screwed up. I read that somewhere, and I'm like, I got to share that because that sounds funny, because I would feel that I would see a bunch of kids doing that. And then they turn on their Furbies and get absolute nonsense.
No idea.
So there you go. I'm just,
so today, yeah. You're an asshole. We're going Beyond the Night and reviewing the final 3 episodes from Knight Rider Classic Season 2. Hit the turbo boost, Git.
If that is true, and I believe it to be, you and I will soon stand together, shoulder to shoulder, among the greatest warriors of the past.
Well, you can have the notoriety, Eduardo. I will settle for the money.
Well, I will settle for nothing less than both.
I'm not sure what's going on down here. There's a lot more than illegal aliens and a lawyer framed to look like he was in on the take.
Well, the gold you mentioned would certainly confirm that. I'll see what I can turn up, Michael.
Kid ran a trace on a guy outside of Joanna's motel. Any luck?
We're making some progress. His name is David Dalton. His present address is Washington, D.C., but he's been there for less than a year.
What's this guy do for a living?
I'm feeding all the information to Kit now.
Thanks, Devin. I'll keep you posted.
So, plot thickens.
First up today is Mouth of the Snake. This is one of the another 2-parter here in Season 2. A governmental agent, a murdered lawyer's widow, and Michael seek connections between an international criminal, a stolen rocket launcher, and a code, Boca Culebra. Sounds like a horrible, horrible mixed drink you'd get at a bar.
Either that or one of those one-named rock groups that you don't want to ever see in concert. Hello, Millie.
Sticks.
Hello, Millie Vanilli.
That's actually 2 words.
I know, but so is Vocal Calibra. Now, this show, and this particular show was supposed to be a spin-off, for those of you who have kept up.
For David Dalton,
for those of you who...
God, that never happened.
Yeah, for those of you who kept up with the Knight Rider universe, this was actually supposed to be a spin-off, and this was supposed to produce his own show. But unfortunately, it never got off the ground. It got suspended. I don't even think there was one episode made.
No, I don't think so either. I don't even remember hearing what the title of the show would have been either.
I don't remember it. I honestly don't.
And I don't think that David Dalton, as much as I like him in this episode, and we'll get to that when we get to Skinner's On, I honestly don't think that character warrants his own show, because he is essentially
he's kind of an early MacGyver.
Well, I was gonna say he's more of a cross between MacGyver and $6 Million
Yeah,
Man,
that's true too. Yeah,
or something like that, where it's
because
like,
the way the stunts are
yeah,
done, the way the stunt jumps
yeah,
are done and things.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, as much as I would love to see the actor do other stuff, but I'm glad he didn't get his own series.
Yeah.
The overall plot here, when you boil it down, it's not that great, but just the overall episode, the two-parter, it was just so intriguing as to what was what was the final outcome going to be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But really, when you boil it down, it's hey, we're going to break into a weapons depot. I thought there was going to be more to it, but that's really what it is at its core. But there's so much to like in this episode
There is.
between the chemistry between David and Joanna. Michael is essentially sidelined as far
Yeah, he
as
is, isn't he?
lead. Yeah, yeah.
You don't really see a lot of Kit and Michael in this episode. You
Well,
do and you don't.
Yeah, but I mean, he's more so sidelined as the romantic lead
Yeah.
instead of him going after the girl.
It's David. It's actually David.
Yeah, it's David. Yeah, so I don't know. What did you think of the overall plot and the overall episode?
The overall plot was very good. It's actually got more twists and turns. I really think that this is my opinion, and you may disagree with me on this, TFG1, but it's got more twists and turns than any other episode so far that we've covered, I think.
Yeah, it does. I could almost put it akin to Night of the Phoenix a little bit because
that's too.
More...
Well, why? Okay.
No, I'm saying as far as the twists and turns,
okay.
Because Night of the Phoenix has the same kind of twists and turns, and you don't know what's going to come next.
Yeah, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, and you don't want to look away from it.
Exactly.
Well, what I like about this one is, you can try to guess, like you can in Night of the Phoenix. You could try to guess, oh, this is going to happen. Oh, wait, no, this is what happens. Okay, so that's actually, it keeps you guessing. It always keeps the audience guessing in your mind as to what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked is we saw more. To me, I think you saw more kind of scenes that were backdrops.
Oh yeah.
You saw more scenes that were backdrops. David, it almost felt like with it, this is kind of like David Hasselhoff without Kit. It was like David Dalton took over what Michael Knight was doing. I mean, yeah, Michael Knight was there, Kit was there, but it was almost like this show focused on David Dalton. Or not this show, but this episode, I mean, focused more on David Dalton.
Yeah.
And also, the other thing I liked about this was you saw more kind of the classic weapons besides the guns. You saw the boomerangs, you saw bow and arrow, you saw, Eduardo O'Brien and that type of thing.
Okay.
Just it's just kind of it was different, but it was
it was very different.
It was different, but it was enjoyable. It was one of those episodes where if it were probably on the top 10 greatest episodes of all time in the 80s, I would rate this at number 2, right up there with Night of the Phoenix, because that would be my number 1 ep for that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it even though, like, when you boil it down, it's just kind of a cliched plot, but just looking at it on a whole, it's just the whole mystery surrounding what the hell they're going to be doing.
But the nice thing is that it's not a boring plot.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, you have all these cliched, things, a drug dealer episode, a weapons depot, break-in, all those, cliched 80s plots.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's what's at the heart of this, the way that they get to it is very interesting, very mysterious, and as you said, has a whole lot of twists and turns.
Right.
So that's what makes the viewer of this episode saying, hey, this is really, really cool, even when we get to that point of finding out what they're going to actually be doing, and it's like, oh, it's just this, but I don't care because it was so cool how we got here.
Yeah. And I could see where you would put this up with, because I could see where you would put this up with Night of the Phoenix in season 1, because Night of the Phoenix, like you said, had twists and turns, and this has twists and turns. And in both two-parter episodes, you don't know what's coming next. It's kind of like, oh, where did this come from? We're not playing in left field.
Exactly.
We're hitting straight homers. And
exactly.
that was actually good for this episode.
All right, so let's turn these scanners on. This episode's intro was the longest yet before seeing Michael and Kit.
Yeah, it was.
It took about 10 minutes. I don't know. I'd have to
10
go back
to 11 minutes?
It felt like it was 10 to 11 minutes before we saw Michael and Kit.
Because usually in an episode...
something happens, and then it cuts to that.
Yeah, and then we see Devin come on the screen, but this time it wasn't like that.
Yeah. And I love the David Dalton character in this. I love his smoothness and just that scene.
I love his edginess.
Yeah. Well, the scene where he essentially attacks Michael, and then Michael runs out and says, "Hey, did you see a guy run through here?" "No, you're the only one here at the races," or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I like that about him. I also like that he kind of takes the whole one man can make a difference thing to a whole new level of obsession, because he doesn't care about working with anybody, even if they are on the same side.
Michael was kind of like that in Night of the Phoenix, though. In the very beginning, after he was transferred from Michael Long to Michael Knight.
Right, he was, but that was that one episode, though, and we've seen him work with other people in general, since then.
Yes.
So, I mean, but
this
guy
one's a little better. This one actually kind of takes it above what David could have done, but maybe they just didn't want to spend too much time on that particular aspect.
Yeah. I'm moving in. I love the animosity between Joanna and David. So funny.
They think we're lovers.
Yeah, that was one clever way of getting the new combination to the safe, though. Her using her little compact there, I thought that was cool.
Yes.
That's some amazing tree climbing there, Tarzan. An entire mission where Devin apparently had no knowledge of any of it. Because...
That's right!
Because Devin didn't know until the end. Because, like I said, this episode started off so strangely because you have 10 minutes of...
David Hasselhoff or Kit.
Right, exactly. And then when they do come in, they're not even talking to Devin or April. And then, by the end, Devin's like, what the hell are you talking about?
You call General Maddox. We'll cover the rest. The rest?
Yeah.
Mike, what else are you talking about?
Yeah.
I gotta go, Devin. I got a rocket launcher to knock out.
What did you like about this one?
I think there's not really much to be said. I could just echo your sentiments on this episode. I do like Devin's surprise of what the hell is going on and why wasn't I notified. I do like that. So, I do kind of like what they did with this episode in taking the one man working alone thing to a whole nother level, because that's what it basically was.
Yeah, you're right. It was, and that was a good thing. And again, that's what makes this episode so interesting. So let's turn these scanners off. I only have one note, and it's just a little nitpick that has no overall effect on my feelings of the episode. Mm-hmm. So wait, it takes a forklift to put the boxes in the truck, but only takes 2 guys to take them out of the truck later? That makes no sense.
You had the same note then.
That makes no sense whatsoever. Was there anything else you didn't like about this one?
The ending, near the ending, not quite near the end, but just near it, when you see Eduardo and David, not necessarily fighting, but it's the scene where David and Eduardo are standing there, and Eduardo finds out who he is, and You see the dogs running through the woods, and
Right.
I don't think that really needed to be there. I don't really. I just kind of found it a wasted scene.
Again, because as you said, they were going to spin
It was a
Dalton's
spin-off.
character off.
Yes.
They were just showing off what he could do, and that's why the scene was there.
Yeah.
I mean, the other guy even said, Eduardo, come on, we don't have time for this.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. So, I mean, the length of the scene isn't that bad.
It's not horrible. No. It's not
Yeah.
horrible. It was just one of those. Okay, we've seen this, so now you're running through a wooded area with dogs on your tail. You've got Eduardo O'Brien shooting at you with a bow and arrow.
Crossbow.
Okay, was that what that was?
Yeah, it was a
crossbow. You got him with a crossbow, and then the helicopter arrives, and they're supposed to get away, and you hear Elton, say, Eduardo, it's not worth it, and you see both of them in the helicopter. And Eduardo says, 5 more minutes and I could have had him. Because, Eduardo says, before, or no, was it before or after? You hear Eduardo say, I killed my first man with a knife.
Yeah. That's when no.
When was the scene that?
The knife scene is at the very end when Dalton and Eduardo are fighting.
Yes. Because Eduardo was swinging at him with a knife.
Right.
Yeah. But I guess that was a very small nitpick for me. But I could kind of see it being there. But then when I first watched the episode, I'm like, okay, why are we seeing this?
Yeah.
Because we've seen what you can do, show us something else, I guess. But like I said earlier, this was supposed to be a spinoff anyway. It didn't happen, but I guess that's what this was supposed to be like. Kind of a different aspect of Knight Rider, and I wonder if Glenn, when he was going to produce this, if this spun off successfully, if he was going to be behind it, and if David Hasselhoff was going to guest star in a few episodes, like help out or whatever the case may be.
Normally, how the spin-offs go, at least how I remember them going, specifically with like JAG and NCIS and stuff like that has happened in the last 10 or 15 years. Normally how it goes is they will start with, like, they'll use this type of episode here, Mouth of the Snake, to kind of introduce the new character. Mm-hmm. And then when the new character gets its own show, maybe the character that got his show started might show up in one or two, kind of like a cameo more so than but it might only be in the very first episode of the new show. I don't think it would be
continuations.
It wouldn't be continuations, because that would take away from what Michael was doing, obviously, in his own show.
Right.
So, alrighty then. We are going to move on.
Someone killed him, Michael. Murdered him.
Step on it! Michael, my sensors indicate that smoking car may explode.
I'm going undercover with class action.
Michael!
Kip! I lost the brakes! Hold on, Michael.
One false move, and you're both dead.
Next up is Let It Be Me. Posing as a singer in a rock band, Michael looks for the connection between the former lead singer's accidental, quote-unquote, death and encoded videotape found in his personal effects. Band's name is Class Action. This is the second of the Stevie trilogy episodes. I really like this one. Again, boil it down, it's just two people... really, again, this is the drug episode, honestly, and it's like, seriously, that's what this is. But I can overlook that just generic of a plot simply because of all the Michael and Stevie stuff.
Yeah.
That's what makes this episode good, is seeing them back together again. And how many last names is she gonna use? Jesus Christ!
Do what?
How many last names is she going to use? Holy crap.
Well, let's see. What was she? Stephanie Mason.
Yeah, Stephanie Mason, Stevie Mason, Stevie March.
Yes, Miss March.
March,
so whatever her name. And then, when she got married to Michael later. I'd also like to point out, and we'll bring this up later in the music episodes, this is the first time we get to see David sing. This is the first time we get to see him sing. This is the first ever that anyone has probably, if anyone is a big Hasselhoff fan, gets to hear songs from his album Night Rocker.
Yeah.
From '85. So, you're right. This is the second Stevie trilogy, and I like this episode. You know what, though? This is one of those true episodes you can actually watch.
Yeah.
And even though you're saying, oh, another drug episode, okay, but you don't lose interest.
No, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. With Mouth of the Snake and with Let It Be Me, they, boil it down and really analyze it down. They have really generic 80s, plots and general television, end-game plots. But because of what surrounds the plot is what makes the episode so good. Same thing here. The whole thing with Michael and Stevie, and you see them kind of torturing each other, or not torturing each other, but each of them is that they have tortured souls because they can't be together, etc., etc., etc. And then he sees what with her moving on, even though she still loves him, she still had to move on.
Yeah.
She couldn't be pining over him for decades.
Right. Even though she knows who he really is,
right,
from Whitebird, she knows who he really is.
Yeah.
But like you said, she had to move on with her life, and she explains how she got to where she was.
At first, I was gonna have a whole problem with this episode because
dear Lord.
Well, no, it's just
a small one.
It's not even a nitpick. I don't have a problem with the episode because she explained it, and that's what I'm saying. What I think is good about writing this episode, whereas in Whitebird at the end, she was going into the witness protection program. When you first see the description of this, or when you first see a preview of this episode, you think, hey, wait a second, wasn't she in the witness protection program? What the hell happened there? But she explains it. The witness protection program ended for her. So I like that.
Yeah.
I like how they continued the story, but didn't forget about how at the end of Whitebird,
she went into the witness protection program.
Right, exactly.
And then she comes out of it. She meets a guy that they went to she went to high school with, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, because I was like, okay, no, well, because I guess I could see that problem too, in the sense that
explain it if she
it had not been explained, I would have been like, no. How do you go into the witness protection program and then all of a sudden you're in a band without explaining yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I could see that. But, since she explained it, that does make sense.
Hello, Stevie.
Hello, Michael.
Stevie, you could have phoned. Written or something.
You don't know how much I wanted to.
So, you're a hot singer now, huh? Hot band? That's fantastic. How'd all that happen?
By accident. I drove to LA and got an apartment. A week later, I ran into Greg Noble. We had gone to high school together, even sung a little. He was putting together his 47th band and looking for someone to sing with. I was looking for something to hang a new life on. Boy, it all happened really fast. Greg knew the way I felt about you. But he loved me anyway. In a strange way, that gave me something to live for, right after the witness protection program ended. And he didn't use drugs. He never used drugs. Someone killed him, Michael. Murdered him.
All right, let's turn the scanners on here. Obviously, I really love seeing Michael and Stevie again. Plus, them singing together is cool as well.
Right.
That was one high-impact explosion. That explosion was a little too much. I liked it, but it was one of those things where, holy crap.
A high-impact explosion.
Yeah, It's when Michael and Kit are chasing after the guy in the car, and the guy in the car hits another car, and from the criminal's car hitting the other car, the car just immediately bursts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, it's one high impact. The brakes go bad. Uh-oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
And my final note was, I love all the concerts and the music video footage, and just like you said earlier, seeing them sing and everything else. I really did enjoy that. What'd you like about this one?
What I liked about this one, again, like you said, we get to see them again. We get to see them sing. One of the scenes I liked was, man moving in on guys girl. There's a beef for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's but the dude was a security guard, so I
could see his point though, because he thought Michael was trying to move in on her, and no, that wasn't it.
Yeah, exactly. What else did you like about this one?
I liked the fact that Stevie got to ride in Kit again.
Yeah.
And we got to see Stevie smile a lot more. She was more relaxed in this episode.
Yeah.
She was more
That's
relaxed.
because the mob wasn't after
Right,
her.
but I'm just saying she was more relaxed in this episode. And the other thing I liked was Michael wanted Kit to scan the tapes and the offices, and he says Kit responds with something, and then Kit responds with something, and Michael's like, good, keep her from getting bored.
Yeah.
So
that's so great. Such an awesome episode.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, you know why? My life might have changed, but yours hasn't.
Stevie, I could leave the Foundation.
No. That's too high a price to pay. For now.
So let's turn these scanners off. Quote, a Miss March is expecting you. Does Devin not know what happened to Stevie after Whitebird? If so, if he doesn't know, fine. But if he did know and didn't tell Michael, that's kind of weird, again.
Especially since Devin knew his past.
Yeah. But you would think, maybe because of the fact that they thought at the end of Whitebird, okay, she's going into the witness protection program, that's it. Maybe Devin didn't keep up after that.
It's very possible.
Yeah. And as I already said, a drug deal centered episode, kind of a lame plot line, but I can get over it because of all the Michael and Stevie stuff. Overall, a really, really enjoyable episode. What about you? What didn't you like about this one? Anything?
A woman being a villain? No, not possible. And she's supposed to be... Well, okay, there's that note. The other note was, how can you be in the music industry and hide a deep, dark secret?
Yeah, that's true. Because your life is pretty much all public.
Yes.
Yeah, that's... but other than that, I mean, overall, this
Those are my two small nitpicks. They're,
yeah,
small nitpicks.
Yeah, other than that, this episode's absolutely great. So I think we're going to move on.
Let's go get him! Give me a systems check.
My systems have never gone underground before.
We're going for it.
You rook it up, because whether you two know it or not, you need each other.
Just rip me off for another piece of equipment.
I am in the market for a skip loader at a decent price.
If I had it, it'll make you feel any better.
And finally up today, closing out Season 2, Big Iron. While investigating the theft of heavy-duty construction equipment, Michael and Kit are pushed into a quarry and buried with tons of gravel on top of them. Oh, God.
Can we reverse the episodes?
Exactly.
Thank you,
yes.
NBC. Just saying.
Well, I don't think it's NBC's I don't think it's their fault. I think it's just the way the episodes came down.
Well,
but
but
yeah,
it goes back to what we said earlier in the earlier season.
yeah,
In season 1.
Yeah, I will say this until we're done with Knight Rider Classic. They do amazing season openers. They do really crappy season finales.
And this just happens to fall under that category.
Overall, I liked it. I thought it was okay.
No,
but
it was good, but
yeah,
you don't want to. Okay, you had not Whitebird. I'm sorry. Let It Be Me would have been a great season finale,
right?
Just like Whitebird would have been. Instead, you got this episode, and it's like, no.
Yeah, but this Big Iron's not as bad as I originally remember it being. It's essentially centered around two friends who were in the construction business for years, who are supposedly stealing each other, or one of them is stealing the other's equipment, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
Turns out that it's somebody else that they know. That if, in fact, one of the friends, his wife
was setting up the hits.
Right, exactly, because she feels neglected and everything else. The overall plot was fine. It just, as an individual Knight Rider episode, it's fine. As a season finale, it's no.
No, the episode's great. The episode's fine, but like we said, the finale for it, it doesn't work.
No, not at all. Any other thoughts on the overall plot for Big Iron?
I didn't think we'd see sort of another construction type episode in a way, because in Not a Drop to Drink, like we saw in season 1 a little bit, there was a bit of construction there. So it wasn't a whole lot, but kind of, and I know I'm getting off topic a little bit, but in this one, there was a lot more. And I mean, that's great that they did it, but you can only do so much with episodes before they become repeaters, and you're going to lose fans that way.
Right, but from the time of Not a Drop to Drink through all of the rest of season 1 to now, that's enough of a gap for me. And this one,
no, it's a huge gap. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough of a gap, and that's fine.
Yeah,
so
it's not real bad. I was just thinking like, okay, we saw this before. But now in season 2, okay, this is different. They're friends. They were supposed to be friends. They're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
They're having equipment stolen. One's making more money than the other, and then we find out it's the wife.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's not really a villain in this one. It's the wife of
It's the wife's lover that's doing it.
It's not really a villain. It's not really a villain in this one.
Yeah,
so, I think that's where they lacked in this episode, in my personal opinion, is they needed kind of a villain character, to make this look more believable and things like that. But overall, the episode was, enjoyable.
That's possible, but it doesn't necessarily follow, Michael.
Something in my bones tells me I'm right.
The ultraphonic analyzer indicates there's absolutely nothing unusual about your bones.
I'm talking about a feeling here. I'm talking about a gut reaction.
And I'm showing no unusual activity in your gastrointestinal system.
Okay. Look, let's just drop it. We'll follow the only lead we got.
So let's turn these scanners on for Big Iron. Kit versus the Meter Maid. I love that. That's so funny.
Oh, it was great. It was wonderful.
Kit analyzing Michael's bones and his movements and his it's funny. It's a funny moment, but it's so creepy. Yeah. It's just so creepy because Kit doesn't get it, but it's one of those things where he tries. I really like the trajectory guide. I thought that was a really cool thing that they added. I thought that was pretty damn cool. That's a nice little graphic there, and with them being buried under all that dirt and rubble, I kind of like that. Yeah. I think that's cool. I don't know. What'd you like about this one?
The trajectory guide was one of my favorite scenes. The fight that Michael actually breaks up a fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even though they were both kind of drunk, as you could tell.
Yes.
Let's see. What else did I like? Them trying to get out of that buried hole twice. Because the first time it didn't really work.
That's because there wasn't enough oxygen.
Yeah, there wasn't enough oxygen. Yeah. But, I mean, I guess that would go back to the trajectory guide. So, like I said, the fight breaking up. And then the ending where he's like, let's spread some oil on Mr. Burke's troubled waters. And the other scene I liked was when this is near the end, of course, when Kit says, "I'm afraid the only big iron you're going to be doing will belong to the Department of Corrections." And I'm like, wow, Kit just really meant what he said.
Yes, he did.
Thank you, William Daniels. I have to say that. Thank you, William Daniels, because as we said before, his voice acting for the show, he had a hell of a range when it came to different episodes.
Yeah.
So that this was good for him. But those were the things I liked for Scanners on.
Yeah, it was a really, really overall fairly good episode. So let's turn these scanners off. I only have 2 notes. We kind of already brought this up, but again, yet another disappointing season finale.
Yeah,
even though the episode in general is great,
it was kind of a disappointment for the season finale.
Yeah, cheating wife and a friend gone wrong episode.
Okay, but you know what? We really can't knock this one for that because that's the first time we've really seen that in KR. I think.
No, we've seen friend gone wrong episodes before.
Not like this.
Not like this, no. But we've seen that generic mold of friends gone wrong, and look at Brother's Keeper, 2 brothers. Same thing.
Yeah, the half brother and
yeah. So, is there anything you didn't like about this one?
The fact that Lucy was really hurting Frank. I mean, I didn't like that about this this one, and the fact that I mean, it really took a lot for her to kind of admit what was going on.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. The other thing I didn't like was a lot of deception.
Yeah.
There was too much deception going on. I didn't like that. Other than that, those are my 2 small nitpicks about this one.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why it would take her a while to get her, to get her to talk, because usually Frank wasn't listening anyways.
No.
So I could see that, but I understand why you don't like that about it, and I don't know. Like I said, if this was anywhere, like we said, if you flip this with Let It Be Me, it would be fine. It would be a great, it would be overall a great episode, and it generally is in general as an individual episode, but as a season finale, it's
not a season finale you want to pick up. It's not a season finale you want to end on. It's like season 1 ends on a high note, or I'm sorry, not ends, begins on a high note. Season 1 ends on a flat note. Season 2 begins on a high note. Season 2 begins on a flat note. So
it ends on a flat note, and the same thing with season 3 and season 4.
Right.
So we're gonna go to a quick ad break. You're gonna hear some other audio and all that good stuff, and we'll come back to close the show after this.
Kid?
Yes?
Shut up.
Welcome to a collaboration between the Geekcast Radio Network and the Pop Culture Network. This is From the Command Center, the podcast. I am your host, TFG and Mike from the GCRN, and joining me is Zordon himself. Scotty Cash.
That's right, Scotty Cash from the Pop Culture Network, and today we're introducing you to the audio version of From the Command Center, the podcast that will entail our intake on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the episodes, the seasons, and all that other good stuff.
You can now hear the Geekcast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear Geekcast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code BOX and enter Geekcast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code Geekcast Radio when you register.
Hey, I'm Gary.
I'm Mike.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Justin.
Join the four of us every week on the internet's #1 and longest-running G.I. Joe podcast, What's on Joe Mind?
It's Joe news, reviews, and interviews like you've never heard them before, delivered right to your MP3 player.
Our guests include Jason Marsden, Kevin Michael Richardson, and Matt Yang King from G.I. Joe Renegades, Larry Hama, Robert Atkins, and John Barber from IDW Publishing, and many more from around the online Joe community.
Yeah, it's guys talking about Joe. Think of it as Joe Talk meets sports talk. And we make fun of Chuck.
Right, and we... Hey, again?
Come on, Chuck. We're just kidding. Kinda.
Sometimes Chuck makes fun of himself.
Right, and we... Okay, seriously, this is just getting ridiculous now.
It's What's on Joe Mind, every week on the Geekcast Radio Network, InsidePulse.com, Stitcher Smart Radio, and iTunes. Download and listen today.
I suppose I still can't say something about Transformers, can I?
Come
Good.
on, man.
No.
What about sports?
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yes, Michael.
Just keep driving.
For you, the listeners of Beyond the Night, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Use audibletrial.com/geekcastradio. All right, let's rank the final 3 episodes here in Season 2. For Mouth of the Snake, 2-hour episode, what do you give it?
I have to give this one a 5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I have to give this one a 5. I have to give Let It Be Me a 5.
Yeah.
Big Iron, I have to give a 2.5.
I'm going to give Big Iron a 4.
Really?
On an individual episode basis. As a season finale,
I give it a 2.5 on the season.
I'm going to give it a 2. Well, I'm just going to give it an overall 2 for a season finale episode. But as an individual episode, I give it a 4.
The individual, I give it a 4. But, just for me, 2.5 on overall.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, that's going to do it for season 2. I can't believe in 15 episodes of the show, we've already covered the first 2 seasons of the classic series, Knight Rider.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody about your other love?
My other love is broadcasting, folks. And if you would like to come over and check me out as well as some other great DJs, head on over to www.sky106.net. Once again, www.sky106.net. You can check out our schedule of DJs, as well as if you think you have what it takes to become a DJ, fill out the application. Follow us on Twitter and add us to MSN. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter name is TheMusicMan08, and you can also look at my blog. I'll try to update my blog as soon as possible. I haven't really had the opportunity to do so, and I do believe we have those in the show notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go, folks. If you have any questions, concerning KR, get them to me in Twitter. And we'll talk to TFG1, and we'll see what we can do about all that.
Yep. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Night. There are several ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on each and every episode post. Send us email, feedback@geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter. The show name there is @BeyondTheNight. Mine is TFG1 Mike. You can also follow @GeekCastRadio for all the other network updates. Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCastRadioNetwork. Call the voicemail line. Tell us the show you're leaving the message for and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Night and wish you'll join us next time when we will be recapping Knight Rider Season 2. For now, I am TFG1 Mike with
Leon the Music Man 08.
Kit, close the show.
Oh, sweet woman, sure feels good to hold you tight. And I want you to know that I really want to be with you tonight. Feel the warm fire, and you're curling up next to me. Let me know that we feel the same, you see.
That I better go. No, oh,
Honey, stay the night. Please, won't you stay the night? Here comes another sunrise burning in my eyes. She's kept me up all night again. When the girl gets hot, well, she just can't stop taking me places I've never been. But when our heart's running cold, it's like she don't even know me, like she don't even owe me the time. This is no way to be in love. No way. This girl is driving me crazy. No way to be in love, but I say, and there ain't nobody making me. Can't sleep at night, no appetite. Which way is up? What's left is right. No way to be in love.
One man can make a difference, Michael. Michael Knight, a lone crusader in a dangerous world. The world of the Knight Rider.